Good morning, Tennessee. Good morning, world. This is Charles Van Morgan, the Charles Van Morgan Show, broadcasting live in the morning. It is Monday morning. We have got some good breaking news for you this morning. The government is on the way in the United States of America to being opened back up. Children soon may be fed. So I want to open up the show with a little song that is indicative of my message today. If you read the title, it's pretty blatantly honest. Put it out there. You won't hear this anywhere else, except for on the Charles Van Morgan Show. So come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show, unbridled, undoctored, and I'm a doctor, a law doctor, undoctored news. Charles Van Morgan Show. Come on in. So we got some great news for you. I love this flag, the American flag. And we'll wait till we get a few people on here. It's the Charles Van Morgan Show, broadcasting live from Knoxville, Tennessee. We got some great news for you today. I want to open up with a little song, if you'll bear with me. If I can't make money on YouTube and advertising, then maybe I'll be a singer. Yeah, right. So I don't sing that good. I've already done that. The Charles Van Morgan Show. Look at the beautiful American flag, broadcasting live from Knoxville, Tennessee. Welcome, welcome. Come on in. So we got a little song for you this morning to open up the show. Tell you what the show's about, because we're going to tell you a little truth about stuff. Truth that you won't hear anywhere else except for on the Charles Van Morgan Show. Undoctored, unbridled, real news, the real truth. We're going to talk about dirty Tennessee and federal judges. Wow, who does that? Yeah, Charles Van Morgan tells you the truth, protected by God, I hope and pray, and maybe millions of viewers. So hold on for the ride. It's going to be a rough one. We're going to sing a little song for you. Like, share, comment. We're going to try to break a new record today, getting this message out worldwide, broadcasting live from Knoxville, Tennessee. Got a lot of stuff to tell you about dirty Tennessee court judges and dirty federal court judges, and the way the system doesn't work. The way the system doesn't work for you works for them. So we're going to sing a little song today that's indicative of the show, that tells you a little bit about what's going on, and we'll explain it to you. And also the main message is the song, which is my conviction, what I believe to be the truth. So I'll send that message out to you. So here goes. Here's a little song. We'll sing it again later on the show, so everybody in the whole world can hear it. It's a little song you hear about at churches, and you probably heard on the radio. And there's another message to it that I want to point out to everybody. It's are you washed in the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are you fully trusting in His grace this hour? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? So that message I want to put out to y'all, which is, are you washed in the blood of the Lamb, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. And the other message behind that's the most important message I can spread to the whole world. And it ain't about me being perfect. The message is not perfect. That's the way God intended for Christianity to be spread, by imperfect people. The only perfect person was Jesus Christ, who's the Savior of the world. The other message is, and if I don't want to lose you, this isn't a religious sermon. There's a point behind that. The other message is this. Have you ever heard the term a come to Jesus meeting? You know, what that is implying is that somebody's wrong and they're going to come to Jesus and have a meeting to correct what their fallacy, to correct their wrong. So today, I want you to be washed in the blood of the Lamb, and asking if you are. If you're not, I would invite you to accept the Lord Jesus Christ in your heart. And the other message that I have, as a citizen of this great free country, as free it is, and the freedoms that we have, that we're supposed to have, we don't have, because of dirty Tennessee judges. Dirty Tennessee judges because of the dirty federal court judges. I mean, they've allowed the federal government to be shut down for months while they're funded, while people that shut down the government are funded but the people carrying the load aren't funded, and the court system has done that. But the other message is this, and not slang, respectfully. You've heard people say, have a come to Jesus meeting. It means we're going to have a little meeting to discuss some people is wrong and explain a few things to you. And let me just take a moment to explain something to people. What's going on rampant right now in the world is anti-Semitism, people hating Jews. Let me tell you what, and this is a good place to put this in, because when you come to Jesus, and you're going to have a come to Jesus meeting at the end of your life, you're going to, people that hate Jews, Jew haters, which I am not, God bless Israel, you're gonna stand before a Jew, Jesus Christ. Historical documents prove it. It's well known. Is a Jew. He was born into the world through through Jews. The Jews blessed the whole world through the Lord Jesus Christ. So when you have your come to Jesus moment, anti-Semitic people, you're going to run into a Jewish savior of the world. So I'm just saying, that's one truth. So let's have a little respectful little come to Jesus meeting this morning and talk about a little truth from somebody that's unbiased, unafraid, that's doctored. I have a doctorate degree, a doctor of jurisprudence. You know, a lot of people spit out a lot of stuff. They just tell you everything in the world's going on. They got opinions, and they know, and they explain to you what they've heard from people, and they just tell you, and it sounds real powerful, and it's the government propaganda spitting right back. The government, people in government power are telling you these lies, and they're spitting it right back out. Some of them on TikTok. I heard somebody the other night talking about how the system works. And I'm thinking, do you have any clue about what you're talking about? No, absolutely doesn't. He's talking about the food stamp program, and I hear a lot of pushback. And you can push all you want to. You're not going to change my mind. People tell me, what about all these lazy thugs? And they're out here, and they're getting money, and they're not working, and yada, yada, yada. You know, that's not a problem. And if you think it is, and they want me to say that, and this is for you, a lot of people, you know who you are. You get on YouTube, and you push that little button, and you say whatever the hell you want to say. You start trying to tell me what to say, and you'll have a little hard time, because I know what I know, not based on what somebody in the government told me, based on science, based on reading the literature, based on studies, based on numbers, based on stuff like what does the temperature of water freeze at? 32. Science numbers. Who are most people that are on food stamps? It's not dirty thugs that don't want to work. It's little children and the elderly and people that can't work. That's who's on them. That's a fact. Now, if you want to worry and go off about and spread your lies about lazy thugs out here on it, then go right ahead. You push that little YouTube button and you go with it, and you do you. And I'm gonna agree that the water freezes at 32 degrees. You know, a scientist will tell you that because they know it and they've studied it. They've got it cold and it starts freezing at 32. You know, social scientists have studied and know more about the world than your little pea brain knows about your little area and what you see. Maybe you've seen one thug that don't want to work. Have you seen the millions of little children that aren't eating today because of your lies? Have you seen that? And you want to spread that lie, you punch that YouTube button and you go with it. And someday you'll be in front of Jesus, and you'll have to explain to him, not me. I could care less what you do. I'm responsible for me. And I'm standing up for the poor, the sick and the afflicted, and the poor and the needy, like Jesus would want me to do. If you want to push YouTube, spread lies, you go right ahead. I'll call you a liar. I'd call you one to your face. I'm not afraid of anybody. I'll protect myself. I stand up for right. And if you want to hear a lie, go to the mainstream news media. And they're full of it. And it sounds real good, and it's spread. People keep talking about it. That's how Hitler annihilated the Jews, by spreading a lie over and over, louder and louder, 100 times. And you can spread your lie all you want to. little children going hungry today, and you're doing that. And you know, some pretty sick people, if you want to say that. There's some people on TikTok, and they think they're spreading the truth about, you know, if you don't money, you got to work. These people over here, and they're feeding. And we're going to get into the Tennessee court system, but the Tennessee court system and the federal court system spread these lies. They spread lies. They'll tell you that water freezes at below zero, at below 0.0, it doesn't freeze at 32 degrees. The social scientists will tell you they looked at the numbers. Little children and elderly that can't work and shouldn't be held responsible are the ones going hungry. So you spread your lies. Go ahead if you feel good about that. And you know nothing about what you're talking about except for what some idiots told you in your ear, and you spread it because, boy, it sounds good to hate on people. You go ahead. You keep your hate. And I'll tell you the truth. And you don't like it, push YouTube and go on there and spread your lies. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. But you tell me what to say on my channel, and we can have an honest debate. But if you think I'm a weak person, you're flying a kite. I've been through a hell of a lot, and I know what I'm talking about. And I'm a social scientist. I have a Master of Arts degree in this stuff. I know what I'm talking about. So listen to me. We're gonna have a little come to Jesus meeting. And if you don't believe this meeting that we're having prematurely, then you're gonna have a real meeting with him, and he's gonna ask you why you didn't love your neighbor as yourself, why you lied on him, why you were a dirty coward that spread lies like the government does, why you were so ignorant. And a lot of people are ignorant. So if you don't trust the government and you're tired of listening to what they say, and maybe you're tired of repeating what the government tells you to say, because that's what they're doing. They're repeating lies over and over, amplifying it, putting the legitimacy of the weight of law on it in crooked judicial rulings. If you're tired of that, and you think the system's not run right, you think it's run for the rich and powerful against little children that don't have much of a voice, and you're ready to stand up for yourself and your family and what's right against these rogue people in government power, then you're on the right channel. If you don't believe that and you want to hang in here, build up my algorithm and say nasty, dirty, vile stuff about me, hey, go ahead. Thank you for your help. You're an idiot in two ways. You don't believe truth and you're helping me. So either way, I win-win, don't I? So we're going to talk about dirty courts. And we're going to have a little, first, invite you to accept Jesus Christ in your heart. And we're going to, and then symbolically, we'll come to Jesus meeting on the Charles Van Morgan Show live in the morning. I'm going to tell you a little truth. And I invite somebody, and I hope you don't, to come out here and shut me up on the public sidewalk. It's called the First Amendment. And if you try to tell me what to say, you just fire me up worse. Convince me that I'm telling the truth more. Because YouTube is free. Go put that button and put your lies out there. A lot of people do. People trying to say on TikTok that the food stamp program is bad. It's only people that don't want to work, and they know that because they know that, because they're so smart and educated, and because it's such a popular falsehood that they're going to build up their TikTok channel. And also it makes them look good at their job, who they're working for somebody that's got buku amounts of money, and they'll say, I'm upholding you, boss, so I'm gonna make myself look good. I'm not benefiting. It's detrimental to my safety, health, protection, well-being, telling you the truth. If somebody's going against their own interest for your benefit, don't you think you might ought to listen to them instead of nuts that are out here saying people are lazy, don't want to work? Look, boss, I agree with you raping the world of billions. While I don't have anything, I agree with that. Can I keep my job, please? I mean, what kind of cowards are you all? Cowards. Stand up. Stand up. Fight for what's right. Look around. Trust science. Not Hitler. Not a loudspeaker. Not a liar. Let's see how many people got on here. We're going to talk about dirty Tennessee judges. Got a lot of stuff. We could go on for days about the dirty Tennessee court judge rule. These Tennessee judges are biased and liars. They stand up for people in power, adjudicating in the people in power's favor. They won't adjudicate for the truth. They call a lie the truth and use their illegitimacy, use their supposedly legitimacy as an honest court system to further perpetrate lies. And we're going to show you exactly in black and white how they do it. And you can believe whatever you want to do. I'll show you the facts. I'm not afraid to. That's the reason this show has reached a milestone. 1 million people, 1 million people have listened to us in the past a little over 2 months. Coming up on 1 million people because unbridled news, because unbridled truth, because it's the God's honest truth and that I'm putting out. And if you don't believe me, hey, you can believe whatever you want to believe. Who else puts out this kind of stuff against people in government power? I mean, you don't think it's a little scary? And you want to hear the other side of it? The side that tells you that judges and their adjudicated rulings in their courts of law protected by your tax money, that maybe they're not doing the right thing? Who says that? Because maybe they might drag me into court and punish me for exercising my First Amendment right in America, saying the courts in Tennessee have gone rogue, they've gone wrong, they're dirty, they're worse than regular criminals. Who says that? I'm telling you the truth. That's the reason why this channel has reached over 1 million people. This channel, there's some fans. This channel, Charles Van Morgan Unbridled News, and if you don't want to listen, don't. A lot of people are. It's growing astronomically because of the pure truth from a doctor in the law, a master in arts and sociology. I'll just tell you the truth. You know, they've kicked me so much the kicks don't hurt anymore, and I'm fighting back. You know, they don't understand basic human logic that after you beat on somebody so much, if you haven't killed them, they might come out fighting pretty damn hard, and they might start beating the hell out of you, and you're a sissy because you've had to lie to people to maintain control. You haven't adjudicated fairly, and you've gotten so fat and gluttony that somebody like me can whip your tail in. So we're going to tell you the truth. I have more, and we're going to talk about dirty judges and what they do. Got a great show for you today. Just lay out the facts for you, plain and simple as they are. I mean, just look around. Is everything working for you? Is your price of food all right, or is it skyrocketing? While these billionaires that are over the courts, that run the courts, that tell the courts what to adjudicate. A judge doesn't decide what he wants to adjudicate. He decides what he's told to adjudicate, not based on what's the truth. It's based on their truth that's not even true. So we're gonna lay it out for you plain and simple. We have more viewers, more outreach, and check the numbers, than local news channels. You know, a local news channel, Channel 8 News, I went there to ask them a question just a few days ago. It's on one of my videos because they lied about me on live television. I went there as a journalist to ask the journalists. I'm a journalist asking journalists. They come to your house and they'll ask you questions when they think they got a got you moment. You know, if they come to your house, knock on your door, it ain't because they're going to try to praise you to high heaven and point out how the government is after you and the government's dirty and you're an innocent victim and the judge has wrongly ruled against you, but the judge ought to be in jail and the judge ought to be sanctioned, not you. They're not going to do that. They're not going to meet you at your door to do that because they're state-owned media, they're judge-owned media. They're going to come to your door and they're going to knock on your door when they got a got you moment, when they think they got you. So let's flip the script. Let's go do that to them. What they do, Channel 8 News. They got a commercial the other day saying, one of the news broadcasters, and I challenge him to have me on the show. I'll correct it, but see, they won't correct their wrong. That's why you don't stop what you're doing. Just because you have resistance and because they won't stop their lie, you don't apologize to crooked Channel 8 News. I went to them to ask them, imagine that, knocking on Channel 8 door to ask the journalists, to interview the journalists, talk to them about their lives. You know what they told me? Get off our property. Honest journalism. They have an ad out about how the honest Channel 8 News, we're honest, and all the news channels have this baloney out right now. all the head anchors that we're honest, we're honest. See, they're spreading that, we're honest, like Hitler. We're honest, murder the Jews. We're honest, the government's right, the government's correct. No, they're not. They're spreading propaganda. All these local news media, all of them, and some of them have, since we fought back, have shut down their lies a little bit because we fought back, not because we didn't not fought back, because we did something about it. And we're doing something about Channel 8 News. I wouldn't listen to that crooked show. They're a bunch of dirty liars. Wouldn't answer my questions about their dirty lies. Told me to get off their property, putting out news reports about how honest they are. No, they're not. No, they're not the full lies. Now, I'll retract that. As far as them letting me get on their Channel 8 News, like I convinced Channel 10 to, and let me speak and let me correct their lies about me. See, they won't do that because they think in their little pea brain that citizens don't matter. It's the government, people in government power, the billionaires that matter. But what I'm telling you today is there's a hell of a lot more of us than there are of them. And people are tired of believing their lies. So, and also, Channel 8 can go do their little articles on Channel 8 News all day long. But I have more views on this little channel, on this little cell phone, Channel 8 News, the leading channel in Knoxville, Tennessee, and it's different depending on your area, but I'm talking about where I'm at, broadcast live at one time to about 50,000 people, and I think Channel 6 is the leading news channel in Tennessee, in Knoxville. Closely, Channel 10 News, and I was on Channel 10, listened to the interview. I got a little message out running for public office. I got a message out. It's still a message true today. What we're fighting is we're fighting corruption in government power. And got that little message out. They recorded it live, so I knew I was going to get that on the table before they cut the cord. They don't like to hear the truth. But they let me speak for 3 minutes, and I got a little truth out. But Channel 8 News won't do that. The crooked Channel 8 News told me to get off their property. So I'll get off their property and I'll get on my channel that has more outreach than any news channel in the city of Knoxville. They broadcast to about 50,000 people. Their news coverage reaches about 50,000 people in the Knoxville area. One of my broadcasts reached over 57,000 people that I talked to. Over 57,000. So, and you're talking about a well-funded, government-funded, government-sanctioned, and government-approved, stamped. This is the propaganda we want you to put out. People worry about state-owned media in Russia. There's no state-owned media in the United States of America. They all guess the truth, and they're unbiased, and they're for the populace. No, they're not. No, they're not. They lie. They put out lies against the public safety, health, and well-being that's told to them through the government, through informal channels, and broadcast it live. We have more listeners. We have more listeners than local news channels. We've had more in one broadcast than they have. So we're getting out a message. So Channel 8 News, I hate that for you, dirty liars. Maybe start trying to have the truth, or maybe if you put me on the channel, you might have a few more viewers, because evidently I'm more popular than dirty liars, because I'm going against people in government power that lie, and you're on their side, you're on their team, you're government state-sponsored propaganda that's responsible for school shootings, that contributes to that. That's a fact. That's, I told them that face to face, and I'll tell them that now. Put me on your show, and I might talk about that, and maybe we can talk about ways that you and me can help improve society and make children safer. But you don't care about children's safety. You care about staying in power with the people in power with publishing lies. That's what Channel 8 does. Don't believe them. They're liars. Channel 8's the worst news channel in the city of Knoxville, I believe. And when their news anchor comes on and says, we value the truth. No, you don't. Have me on the air and let's have an open debate about stuff. And I don't even care about being on your air. It would really bless you if I put you on my channel, because I have more outreach than you do. But evidently, the truth is a little bit more valuable than your dirty lies. So that is my offer. So many people got on here. We're going to continue talking about the important, vital subject of dirty Tennessee judges even affected the dirty federal court system. Can't go in a courtroom and get the truth. You go in a courtroom and get told to obey their lies, to obey them, and you have to pay them for adjudicating against you every damn time. That's the way it doesn't work for you, but it works well for them. Let's see how many people we got on here. We're going to give you some specific examples, some facts. Some 32 degrees will show you the water freezing. When they say no, it don't, I'll tell you, I bet it does. You can beg to differ with me all you want to. I ain't begging nobody for nothing. I'm telling you the truth. So listen today. It's a very important message. Broadcasting live all over the world. Thank you all for the momentum of how many people we've reached. Astronomical, over 1 million people. Wow, the government hates me really bad right now. A lot of people on here, and that do, and you know, it's really stopping me. Yeah, right. Let's see how many people got on here. We'll continue with real live examples of the dirty Tennessee Supreme Court injustices. Injustices, the dirty Tennessee court injustices. I don't care who they are. They're unjust. They're liars. They're dirty, rotten, crooked thieves that steal your money and use a gun to enforce their rogue rules, and it even infected the federal court system. We'll draw the lines, tie it together for you, show you how you're being robbed, show you how you shouldn't listen and what you should do about it. They're violent. They're dangerous. They will kill you unjustifiably and call it legal, and I will not. I don't believe in that. I think that that's wrong. We'll tell you what we can do about it. That's effective. Evidently, it's pretty effective. We're getting a message out, aren't we? You won't hear it anywhere else. Charles Van Morgan, Unbridled News. What we're fighting, as I said on Channel 10, I'd like to say it on Channel 8, is government corruption. People in government power, corruption. We're fighting that. And evidently, we're getting our word out. Plans are coming to fruition. We got a lot more work to do, but we ain't backing down. We're on. Let's see how many people we got, and we'll continue the dialogue about government corruption. Charles Van Morgan Show. Welcome, welcome. Thank you. Like, share, comment, and if you can, contribute. Keep this live news channel going. You won't hear this kind of news anywhere else. I'll explain to you why about that. So thank you, thank you. Let's look. So yeah, we have got 100 people. He's just saying his opinion and what he believes. Okay, my educated opinion, my scientific opinion, it's just not what I believe. So I dare anybody on here, I'm talking about society, social systems and how they run, and I have an education. I've studied the science like a scientist studies the temperature of water. They study and look, and when it gets 32 degrees, it freezes. And that's science. And they can say, I'm a scientist, I've studied that. And I'm a scientist, a social scientist, so I'm not just telling you my opinion, I'm telling you a fact, facts about things. So how do you feel about paying taxes? Well, we should pay taxes that are due and not taxes that just go to pay for people in government power to abuse us. Do you know when ET will phone home, thank you for your comment, spreads the algorithm. If you believe in ET, then I can't help you. You're so far off. And, you know, there are psychiatrists and people like that can help. If you think it's funny that little children and elderly are going without food, if you think it's funny that dirty judges are adjudicating and putting people in jail all across the state of Tennessee, taking their freedoms away, if you think it's funny that they're charging in people's houses here in Knoxville and killing them, then you wait for your ET phone call. I'm going to continue telling the truth. I don't know about paying taxes this year, though. Those in power aren't working. No, they're not. That's exactly right. You know, they want us to pay taxes. Charles for president. Well, you know, that'd be good. You know, I could be a horrible president. I could be a horrible president and do better than what they're doing. I mean, you know, horrible is better than what's going on now, is it not? So I'm glad the governor is opening back up thanks to the 8 Democrats who came through with the 52 vote Republicans. So yeah, that is other breaking news. They are supposedly on the route to opening the government back up. A little too little, a little too late, and they're opening up a crooked government. Anyway, but it is good. That is good. So that's absolutely right. And we've got a bunch of people on here. Thank you all so very much. We're going to keep talking about the dirty Tennessee judiciary in the state of Tennessee and how they've infected, like a disease, infected and control the federal courts. Now, federal courts are supposed to be the supreme law of the land. You have a state court system that has a lot of authority under the 11th Amendment. And then you have a federal court system that's over the whole United States of America. And they have different districts set up. And then cases ultimately, if they're important enough, as construed by them, go to the United States Supreme Court. And the state court system in Tennessee has authority over the state of Tennessee and citizens in the state of Tennessee. The federal court system has power over the Tennessee courts, supposedly, which they really don't. And they have more authority than state court systems do. But their authority is they don't intervene as much. They only have authority over cases basically involving the Constitution. Like if the state of Tennessee, through government action, the government in the state of Tennessee violates your federal constitutional rights, the First Amendment, which if they tell me, come out here on the sidewalk and say I'm in Chattanooga and I'm saying, vote for me, I'm running for governor, vote for me on this public sidewalk, I got a right to do that in the First Amendment. I got a right to say, I'd like to run for governor. I think Governor Bill Lee is not a very good Christian, and that's fair game. He advertised in a church. Fair game. He put that in issue. I didn't. He advertised in a church. I'm a good Christian. Advertised in a church saying that even Christian beliefs, a lot of people don't believe in Christian beliefs, but we have more like together than we do that separate us. And then he goes on to do more stuff that separate people. And I got a right to run against him and say that I don't think you're a good Christian. You put that in issue, but I'm not allowed to do that, which is exactly what I was doing, contesting the governor. But as American citizen, we have a right under our Constitution, supposedly, but we really don't. We really don't. There's a mugshot of showing you how we don't have rights. Those in authority with power have rights. You don't have any. It's a facade. It's a dream. If you don't believe that, look at my mugshot. It's a mugshot of an honest citizen with knowledge and hard work and ethic, degrees on top of degrees, more than plumber's butt, and going out and saying, I think you should vote for me. I don't think you should vote for them. This is the reason why. He does that to me. He would do that to me. They've done that to me through their illicit court rulings, put out lies, and I know they're lies. I can prove they're lies. But I'm not allowed to say, wait a minute, and tell people, you can believe whatever you want to. But I'm not allowed to say, I don't think the governor is a good Christian man. He advertised in a church under the First Amendment. I'm supposed to be able to say that. I'm supposed to be able to say that I disagree with you, Governor, as an American citizen. Under the Constitution, it's called the Marketplace of Ideals. What kind of government do we have when only one side of the conversation gets out? He's allowed to say, I'm a good Christian, I'm for humanity, and anybody that's running against him say, no, you're not, and this is the reason why. And they come out and they throw you down on the ground and take you off to jail. During a campaign, during the election season where people don't get to hear your side of it, and they win hands down because the other side is not allowed to speak out against you and tell you the truth. Now, what kind of system of government do we have when we have that? We have a system in the United States. Look at my mugshot. That's like Russia. They imprisoned opposition. What are you afraid of, Governor Bill Lee? What are you afraid of? You dirty coward. Somebody ought to haul him off to jail. Oh, they won't do that to those powerful people, will they? I'm one of the few that does. What kind of system do you have when you have a system perpetrated by our court system, our judicial system, that has law enforcement officers with guns and bullets that you pay for, that incarcerate people for speaking the other side. Now, I ought to be able to say it. I ought to be able to say it. If you don't want to believe it, then you can say, no, that's not true, and this is the reason why I believe it's true. But what kind of United States of America do we have? What kind of freedom do we have if only one side of the conversation is allowed to get out? If you believe Governor Lee's good, you ought to be able to push your YouTube channel. You ought to be able to talk to your friends and say, I like Governor Bill Lee. I think he's a fine man. He's done a great job. Say it all you want. You can say that. They won't arrest you for saying that because they're in charge of the government. They're in charge of the courts. They like you. They appreciate you being a damn fool, in my opinion. But if you get out, push a YouTube button, run for governor, follow their rules, get on the ballot, get your people to sign the ballot, follow their rules, sign up with their dirty campaign finance, where they tried to not even let me run here in Knoxville. You even follow their rules. You're on the ballot, legitimate, bona fide candidate. It doesn't matter if you can win or not. You're on the ballot and you're trying. You're allowed to try, right? In this country, we value people working and trying, right? There's a lot of things that would have never been invented. A lot of accomplishments that have never been accomplished had we believed that, oh, we don't need to try that, we can't win. So that's irrelevant. Even if you can't, you don't think you can. Like Henry Ford said, whether you think you can and you can't, you're right. And I thought I could, and I was right. I still believe that I can advance the cause of truth and justice. And I believe that I'm getting pretty good at damn spitting out the truth. Because I'm telling you, these people have got the system lined up in their favor where you can't tell the truth. Well, hey, Tennessee government, you kicked me, put me in jail for speaking out against the governor, spreading the Christian faith, and I'm still doing it. You didn't get it done yet. And they might. They might make me a martyr. I hope not. I don't foresee that. I'm not like Dr. Martin Luther King, who said before he was shot in the head that he'd seen the other side. I haven't seen the other side. I'm not going anywhere. My premonition is that we're going to win. We're going to beat them down. And a lot of their hind ends that mistreat people are going to go to jail. They're not going to collect $200. They're not going to pass go. They're going directly to jail. That's the reason why they don't like what I'm saying. So, in America, the other side's supposed to be allowed to get out. Freedom of speech, marketplace of ideals. Whether they agree with what I'm saying or not, I got a right to say it. I got a right to say it, subject to defamation laws. And I got a doctorate of jurisprudence. I know what defamation is. It's false, unprivileged, false communication disseminated to at least a third person that tends to lower somebody in the stand of the community, that tends to make other people not want to associate with them. It's what they do in their damn courtrooms every day, except for the privilege. They stand behind they're ruled by their rules, privilege, that the judges can say any damn thing they want about you, even if it's false, and you can't sue them. Boy, it sure would be nice if I had that privilege. I don't even have that privilege. I'm subject to defamation laws. I know that if I say something false about somebody, they could sue me in a court of law. What I'm saying is not false. It is the truth. It's unprivileged, false communication that tends to lower someone in the stand in the community. It causes other people not want to associate with them. Look what the Tennessee court's done to me. I can't win an election because they cause people not to want to vote for me. Because of dirty lies coming from a Christian man. He says, and his buddies say, while I was outlawing the fatality rate, that I'm not a good person, that I'm a wicked, evil person. And he says that in their privileged court rulings, but I'll show you their rulings are lies. I can prove it. It's not hard. I mean, you can take snapshots. They adjudicated it. The light's on, I can show you a snapshot. No, it ain't. That's a dirty lie. It's a privilege lie. They can say that because they rigged their court rules. That's the reason why they have power over the courts. That's the reason why the courts are dirty. They got power over them. They bought them. They're not fair and biased constitutional courts. They're courts that represent the powerful people. If you don't believe that, then we're having our little come to Jesus meeting. I'm trying to explain that to you so you won't go like a sheep to the slaughter. You'll understand what you're up against. You go to a Tennessee courtroom and sit in front of a Tennessee judge in the United States of America, in your state courts here in Knoxville or in your federal courts, you're going through a bunch of dirty liars that are going to adjudicate for the people with a dollar bill and stomp on the blood of soldiers that fought, that says that somewhere I read we're all created equal. In their courts, you're not created equal. You're created with how much money you got to buy what they will adjudicate as the truth depending on how rich you are. That's the way the courts are in Tennessee. They're dirty, biased, crooked judges, and a lot of them belong in jail for violating the Constitution. That's the truth. You won't hear that anywhere else. You won't hear that anywhere else. They put me in jail for saying that. That's not defamation. It's the damn truth. I can prove it. They want to put me in court to show a million people how it's not true. Lock me up. They do that all day long in Russia, don't they? They do that all day long in the United States of America, too. They're just a little bit more insidious about their dirty lies about how crooked they are. If you want justice in a Tennessee courtroom, then you're not going to get it. It's not there. It doesn't exist. They're not fair. They're biased. They're crooked as hell. They're dirtier. Tennessee judges, you know, the ones with robes that you have to stand up for, that you have to show them honor before they come in and lie against you and throw you in jail. Where else do you hear the truth? TikTok might take me off, and I'm not saying be violent against them. I'm not. I'm saying tell the truth. Let's have a come to Jesus meeting. Let's just be honest about the situation. I mean, if you want to be a damn fool, go ahead. I'm not. If you want to listen and make a difference in the world that has a world and a government and a courts that don't follow the dollar, that follow the truth, then listen to me. If you want to keep making these judges super rich billionaires, having several houses, stealing money, tax money from all over the United States of America, then go ahead and keep it the same. Don't worry about anything I'm saying. It's working well for you, that's fine. If it's working well for you, you're probably part of the government, or you're so dumb, you're like Weekend at Bernie's and you're Bernie. Somebody's propping you up. The Charles Van Morgan Show, we're going to talk about, if they take me off this channel, I'll be on TikTok. I'll be on Telegram. I'm going to try to get the message out. And I'm not violating any of YouTube's policies or procedures. I'm toning it down to try to make sure I have facts along with this stuff. I don't want anybody to do anything violent. I don't believe in violence. There's another way to handle this. There's a lot of ways to handle this besides violence. They are violent. They use violent tactics to perpetrate their lies. Our supposedly legitimate judges and court system and police officers use violence to stop people from saying, vote for me. I think the governor is a crooked, dirty rat. I don't think he's a very good Christian. I don't know his heart. And they use violence. They put me in the hospital for saying that. Vote for me. Well, here's the other side. You don't have to agree with him. He certainly says stuff bad about me, but I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to say stuff bad about him. That's what, hey, look at my mugshot. A real life picture of somebody saying the governor shouldn't be the governor. He's not a good man. He's a dirty liar. And I don't think that he's had a come to Jesus meeting with me, because I'm about to tell the dirty, rotten scoundrel, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you got. Stop mistreating Tennesseans. I can say that. And I just said it. I'm not afraid of him. The more we get out, the more they're afraid of me. So we're going to talk some more about the crooked Tennessee judicial system that has infected. We're going to draw the lines where you can see. We're going to lower the temperature to 32, where you can watch the ice freeze, called science, We're going to show you a little social science that's the truth. It's a well-recognized sociology, criminology, a well-recognized phenomenon that outside forces affect people. People think they have free will. I can go wherever they want to. No, you can't. No, you can't. You can go wherever society tells you to go, wherever they allow you to go. Say the harder I work, the more I get. Social scientists tell you the harder you work, the more Governor Bill Lee gets, the more they get. That's not true. That's a dirty lie. Water freezes at 32. The more you work, the more they get. The more they get. The more you follow the system, the more the system benefits their demise. If you don't believe that, I can't help you. I can't help you. If you like the way things are going, if you like kids starving, you like the government incarcerating more people in this country than any nation in the world, while the rich, elite power class that lie to you, that control the federal courts and the state courts, get by with anything they want to do. And if they do ever get caught, because the system can't legitimize some corrupt or wicked stuff, or somebody's made them mad, then they get put in jail, and then they get a pardon. Wow, if you think that's all right. If you go to jail for something, will you get pardoned? Hell no. It's not your system, it belongs to them. Welcome, welcome. Charles Van Morgan in the morning. So here's a like, share, comment. So let's read some comments. Always I tried, I can't hang out and watch the screaming. Have a good day. I don't want this kind of energy in my life. Okay. Other than killing the innocent kid, what have they said that was wrong today? Add keywords to search. Also, there is a Tennessee news channel on YouTube that has his dash cam footage. Right, it has my dash cam footage. And it has my dash cam footage. That's absolutely right. And then it has, and the dash cam footage was put out. The dash cam footage was put out to the public by people in government power, unauthorized it. It was a death investigation. Somebody in government power. Watch that dash cam footage. It was put out before it was authorized, and I'm about to show you today how they lied about that. So let's just tell you the facts. Watch that dash cam footage. What does that dash cam footage say? It says I'm innocent. Look at the narrative that they put on that dash cam footage. The narrative that they say is they tell you how to think. They tell you how to look at that dash cam footage. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the point. Because the government, if you're stupid like that guy wants to tell you, look at the dash cam footage, and then they tell you how to think about what you see. How to think about what you see. So they tell you what to think. You look at something and they say, oh, and you have no reaction. You think, well, there's nothing there, which is what happened, because that dash cam footage was put out by Major Headley of the Tennessee Highway Patrol, the wrinkly drunk that she is. See, they won't tell you that. They'll say she's an honorable person. She's retired from the military. She's never served a day in the military. That's what the government tells you. That dash cam footage is my best friend. I'm glad that dash cam footage is out. Watch that dash cam footage without what that guy's trying to tell you, without what they tell you how to think. Are you that stupid? You got to listen to the government and the judges that are bought and paid for, that are getting money. So this is the footage, and this is how we want you to view it. This is the world view lie, and we're going through a lot of hoops to get you to see this. Now that dash cam footage, and I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to talk about this today. So thank you, idiot, and thank you for spreading my message. So you talk about propaganda and lies. Hell, Hitler, the Jews are bad. Yeah. Kill Van, he's bad. Yeah, look at the dash cam footage. This is what happened on that footage. Let me tell you what happened. I was the only one there, besides another eyewitness. Here's what happened. There was no lights on that car on the dash cam footage. They put that video out. The government put that video out to incite people to go on emotions and not fact, because a drunk driver killed theirself. A drunk driver killed herself. How in the hell do you hold me responsible for somebody drunk endangering society? Ought to get a medal for that night. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that, do they? They put out that video of that pursuit on the news. Major Heatherly, somebody died and they'll blame the trooper. Thinking that would be the case, she took the video, violated the law. She's a criminal, not me. I didn't do anything wrong. I was out by myself at night, risking my life for public safety. That's what that video shows. Shows a trooper risking his life. How dare they, in a safe office, lie about me? They're dirty cowards. What I did was brave and honorable. So they put that video out. What's that video? There's a dash cam of that video. That's absolutely right. That video is my protection. But they tell you, pea-brains, how to think about it. Some of you, not all of you. They released that video without authorization. Committed a crime, hoping that people would say, somebody died, they'll blame the trooper. The trooper's not responsible for somebody else killing themselves. That's ridiculous. That's ludicrous. How absurd is that? How absurd. The soldiers are responsible for the war? Wow, pretty good job. They did that in Vietnam. I didn't do a damn thing wrong. They put the video out hoping that it would incite people through emotion and not facts. What I'm telling you is facts. You know, the truth. Water freezes at 32. I did nothing wrong. They did. The video exonerates me. They say the ice is not really frozen. The video is not what you see. Yeah, it is. Now, they even lie under oath. I can show you in black and white about the video being released. They said they released the video without authorization. Stacey Heatherly probably did. The liar scoundrel that she is. The more you lie, the more you go to the top and spread lies. I'm not afraid of that video. Watch that video. And look what they did to a trooper out risking his life. That's disgusting. That's how dirty these disgusting Tennessee court judges are. They're disgusting, despicable. When you go in front of a Tennessee court judge, I'm asking you to obey the law. You have to stand up because that's the system that they fooled you into believing right now. But you have to stand up to a disgusting man that's going to come in and lie to you in a Tennessee courtroom. So disgusting. They put that video out hoping that people would go on emotion and say the trooper did something wrong. It was out for several months. And people say, why would a trooper drive past a wreck? They didn't think nothing about it because he didn't see it. Obvious truth. Obvious truth. I mean, he's trying to find the guy. He's behind him trying to protect society, risking his life. Why did he drive past the wreck off the side of the road in the dark? He didn't see it. Obvious truth. But they think, well, somebody died, so they blame somebody. That's what they do. Somebody's going to be blamed. They'll blame somebody. No, that people didn't even do that. They said the video was out for several months. And they're like, man, they're not getting mad at Charles Van Morgan. That's what we wanted them to do. We're sitting behind a desk in safety, and we're dirty liars, and the top of THP is dirty thugs, pieces of dirt that ought to be in jail. And the people are saying, well, what happened here? He's not being criticized, and we can't go along with this. So they put out a narrative of telling you what to think about the video months after it happened. So yeah, look at that video and then listen, and without their narrative, what would you think? Why would a trooper drive past the wreck at night, off the road in the dark? Because he didn't see it. It's obvious truth. That's not something that even has to be adjudicated at the highest levels. And when you get something adjudicated, you're getting in front of one of their liars to manipulate and trick and fool you. You're not getting the truth. And their judicial rulings are dirty lies. So why would a trooper drive past a wreck? The same thing people for 2 months thought, well, the trooper didn't see it, which is the truth. It's off the road in the dark, unseeable. Even another witness on the scene that night didn't see it. So why would a trooper drive past a wreck? And they were upset. Stacey Heatherly was, major of the highway patrol, and all troopers remember this right here. Right now, what I'm about to tell you. Right here, what I'm about to tell you. You worship them, and you worship their crook court system, and you go along with whatever they tell you to do, or you're gonna pay the consequences, and they're gonna defame you. So that video was out for a couple months before they said, no. You see the video, you know what happened. It's obvious. But here's the way we want you to think about it. We want you to believe that the trooper did something wrong. The trooper saw that wreck, even though he didn't see it, somebody else didn't see it. That's the lie that we're going to spread. So it wasn't until a couple months later, and that guy saying, watch that video, because yeah, he's saying, watch it and look at how we want you to see the video. So that's what the government does. People, judges even do that. They tell you this is what happened, and you can decipher what happened. It's pretty obvious. Why would a trooper drive past a wreck in the dark in the middle of the night? Does he get a cookie for doing it, or is he in pursuit of somebody? And if he would have seen it, if it would have been seeable, he would have stopped immediately. Why would he do that? Because he didn't see it. It wasn't seeable. So they're trying to say, look at the video and listen to the narrative that we're trying to spread, the lie we're trying to spread. You know, the same lie that says food stamps don't help children, and candy bars make children fat, and the food stamp program is killing little children. I mean, that same lie. This is how we want to make you think about stuff. How about you think on your own 2 feet, and you read the literature, listen to social scientists, and you look at the numbers and believe the truth. Water freezes at 32. That's the truth. And social scientists will tell you people in government power, these elite people, run the government for themselves against you. So here's the deal. It wasn't till a couple months later that people decided that people ain't going along with our program. They're not seeing the lie that we want them to see. So they told them what to believe. They told them to believe that because they wanted to burn a trooper. There's more than one way to kill somebody. They wanted you all to believe that you didn't believe for 2 months. So they spread a lie. The trooper seen that wreck. Oh, that's inflammatory, isn't it? Somebody died, and Major Stacey Heatherly, the crook liar that she is, got that message across to the world, didn't she? Because she used government power to do that. She used her tax money to do that. They use your tax money. They use your tax money. They use your money, your hard work and effort to benefit on, to prove a lie. So yeah, watch that video and listen to the person who was in the car who made that video with their life at risk, protecting society. I didn't see that car as a wreck. I saw the tail end of it, which is what anybody would see. It didn't have any lights on it. A judge adjudicated there was lights on it. So listen to the truth. They wanted to get rid of me because I was standing up against them. And they caused the fatality rate to skyrocket. So watch that video. That's when they started a fight against me they'll regret. And who's ever on here lying is probably working for the government, eating off your tax dollar, mistreating you too. And maybe a damn dirty judge. So listen to what I'm saying. So I'm glad they brought that up. I was going to mention that. We're going to start talking, draw the lines about dirty Tennessee court judges. So many people's on here. And continue the narrative. Continue the narrative about the dirty Tennessee judiciary. Old Randy Marsh. Add keywords to search. Also, there's a Tennessee News channel on YouTube that has his dash cam footage. Right, there he is. And listen to what the news tells you to believe about that. So, yeah, that's foolishness. Like, share, comment. We're going to put he's so old, he doesn't even know how hot to put on a tongue tragic just yelling at the clouds. Listen to this. 1 million people don't think so. Black hole B7E. What mega, hey, that's right. Make America great again. Make Tennessee great again. You know, Donald Trump has a mugshot. Yeah, they incarcerate freedom fighters, don't they? Rosa Parks has a mugshot for standing up for what is right against the establishment. Charles Van Morgan, me, has a mugshot. They thought it would shut me up. I'm proud of my mugshot. Not many people in the world have got a mugshot for standing up for other people's rights. I didn't commit a crime. They did. They committed a crime against me. They wronged you all. So yeah, I got a mugshot. I got a mugshot for you, Donald Trump, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King. A lot of people, Lester Roloff, have got a mugshot. Not many people have got a mugshot, not for committing a crime, for doing what's right. I'm so very proud of that mugshot that I got. That's how you can know you can believe me. Because why did they put me in jail? Because I'm telling the truth about them dirty scoundrels. Look at them right here. sound. Okay. I'm sorry, I got no sound. I turned it on now. So we're talking about, this is therapy for being a mega moron. Yeah, okay. So we got sound on now. So thank y'all so very much. So we were talking about Lion Lisa Perlin. Lion Lisa Perlin, if you missed me now. Lion Lisa Perlin is over the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. She denied me my law license, lying on me, saying stuff that's not true. She said I cussed her out. The only reason why I would ever be around her or anything to do with the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners is for the purpose of getting my law license. She was around me because she wanted to defame me and lie on me. So she's a dirty liar. She says that I cussed her out. And so she's denying me my law license. I didn't cuss her out. That's a dirty lie. She came up to me in the line that I had to be in, harassing me. The Tennessee Board of Law Examiners denied me my law license, denied me my right to practice law, to defend the public, again, to defend the Constitution, defend your constitutional rights in their Tennessee court system, because I won't go along with their lies. I refuse to allow judges to get by in the judicial system and the crooked judges to get by with stomping on people's constitutional rights. That's what they do every day in a Tennessee courtroom. And so I would contest that through legitimate means, through making complaints on judges, through writing out what they did on a complaint and sending it to the Board of Judicial Conduct, and through objecting in the courtroom, hey, that you violated my client's rights. The officers had no right to charge in their house and kill people, which they done about a mile from my house. I would have stood up for the Constitution, for the truth, for what supposedly is our rights in the United States of America. I would have stood up for that and been a lawyer. They won't let me do that because they don't want people to stand up for your rights. They want people to ignore the truth, stomp on the Constitution, and honor judges that steal your money. Tennessee courts are dirty as hell. They're crooked as hell. You ought to be mad at Tennessee judges all over the United States of America. They steal your money. The Tennessee judiciary, the Tennessee Supreme Court steals your money, California. They got your money in their pocket through tax money, through federal student loans. They don't want people to say that. They shouldn't be getting your money. They have no right to your money. They made it legal for them to steal your money. Isn't that a good, honest judiciary? We're the ones that adjudicate the law, the supreme arbitrators of the law. We'll supremely arbitrate that we have a right to your hard-earned money. I don't go along with that. I think they're thieves. They say they deny me my law license, alleging falsely that I'm not honest. I've never been convicted of any crime, let alone an infamous crime, a crime of dishonesty. That's a lie. They're liars, not me. They're deceitful, not me. Judges are liars, not me. One of the judges that adjudicated, I'm talking about the court system, don't believe the court system, don't believe the dirty judges. I'm not saying to be violent against them, I'm saying don't trust them. They're not legitimate. That's what they want. We're legitimate. We're in robes. You have to stand up for us. Yeah, what a crock. Be honest. You can't get honesty by demand. You can't get legitimacy, and you can't get respect by saying you obey us or we'll kill you. You get respect by acting respectable, by being decent, telling the truth, explaining what you're talking about, and not lying and making up evidence, which Tennessee judges do every damn day. They lie, cheat, rob, and steal. The judiciary in the state of Tennessee, the Supreme Court, stealing money. They're thieves. The Tennessee Supreme Court, unjustices. They call them justices. They're not justices. They're unjustices. They're the ones that will give me my law license so I can protect you from them. Say, wait a minute, you're adjudicating that. That's not true. That's not true. We have a Constitution that protects my client from your dirty judiciary. But so they say, well, Charles Van Morgan's not honest. So I'll represent you out here on the sidewalk, represent the public to 1 million people so far. So they allege they won't give me a law license. And we'll just spell it out for you. Just spell it out plain and simple. They say, Charles Van Morgan's not honest. We can't give him his law license. He cussed us, and he's a mean, wicked person. That's not true. That's a lie. I didn't cuss them. I didn't cuss them at all. Now, they ought to be cussed. That's the least they ought to be done. Lisa Perlin over the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners alleged that I cussed her. Let's hear the tape where I cussed you, Lisa. I didn't cuss you. I was in a line trying to get my law license to defend the public. You harassed me and approached me in a line that I had to be in to go take a test. Why were you around me for? Why would you coming around me for? Why'd you harass me, Lisa? The head over the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners that denied me my law license so that I can defend the public lied on me. He's a dirty liar, saying I'm a liar. What lie have I told, Lisa? What lie have I told? The truth I've told is Tennessee judges are dirtbags. And I didn't say that before, so that's not the reason why they won't give me my law license. The reason they won't give me my law license is because they're crooked and they know I'll stand up for public safety. You don't have to have a reason, a motive. All you have to do is know the crime, but I know the motive. It's because they want your money. They want power. They want legitimacy, and they're illegitimate. So they allege that I'm not honest. That's what they allege. I'm honest. I've never been convicted of any crime in front of my peers of dishonesty. I've never been convicted of any crime. Been accused of it. Of course, they accuse you, make you look bad. Well, he was accused of this. They even use in their ruling against me that I was falsely arrested. Use that because I was falsely arrested. They use that against me. That's against the government, not against me. I've got a mugshot because I did the right thing, not because I did the wrong thing. So they say because the government arrested you falsely, then you're wrong. No. The government arrested you all legitimately. The government arrested a Board of Law Examiners, the federal courts, rightfully because they were dishonest. So while they're adjudicating that I'm not honest, they're adjudicating I'm not honest. I've never been convicted of any crime of dishonesty. One of the Tennessee judiciary was arrested by federal courts. They wouldn't have arrested her in Tennessee for dishonesty. So a judge in Tennessee, under Lyon Lisa Perlin, said that I wasn't honest while she was committing a infamous crime of deception. So who is dishonest and who is honest? Not me. They're dishonest. The judiciary in the state of Tennessee is dishonest. So we're going to tie some of the things together. It's cold out here. We're going to start probably doing this indoors because it's getting too cold. So, Charles Van Morgan, Power to You, the People movement. Okay, well, we lost that paper. So, we lost the paper here. Hold on just a second, and we'll go get it. So here we are. Things happen when you're broadcasting live. So Power to You, the People movement. Power to You, the people. If you unite and fight for your rights, we will make a difference for you, your family, and Tennessee. Charles Van Morgan. It's time to take our power back. Too long, corrupt politicians have rigged the system, ignoring the hardworking people of Tennessee. They serve their donors and themselves, not you. Charles Van Morgan stands with you to take back what's rightfully yours. Power, freedom, government that works for the people, not the politicians. The road to a better Tennessee. Power to You, the people isn't just a slogan. It stands for our mission. Together we will fight back against corruption, expose injustice, and demand fairness and opportunity for every Tennessean. You can make a difference right now. Donate, support the movement. Your donation helps fight corruption, bought elections, and builds a true grassroots movement for change. So, if you can't donate, then hit the like button, hit the share button. Follow Charles Van Morgan. Stay informed and spread the truth and help wake up Tennessee. YouTube, Facebook, TikTok. We can make a difference, and we are making a difference. Here's the icon for YouTube. You're on it now. Here's the icon for Facebook. And here's the icon for TikTok. Spread the word. Tell your friends, family, neighbors. Tell them to join the fight. Talk to your friends Neighbors, tell them to join the fight. We will win this fight. We will win this fight. The corrupt fear is uniting. Let's show them they work for us, not the other way around. Text or call or email Charles Van Morgan. Vote, stand up, fight back. Power to you, the people movement. Charles Van Morgan for Tennessee. So we're in the fight against people in public power that are against you, that are trying to take your rights away. Today's show is about the Tennessee court system. You can't trust them. They're dirty as hell. They're thugs. They're rogue. So, don't trust your Tennessee state or federal courts. Don't trust your Tennessee state or federal courts. Now, who says that? Don't trust your Tennessee state or federal courts. That's a pretty blatant statement, isn't it? Don't trust them. They're liars. They're deceitful. They mistreat you. So here we got a sign out here advertising our safe taxi business. So don't trust the federal courts or the state courts. They try to be legitimate. They can't demand power. We got a sign out here for the whole world to see. They want to act like they're legitimate and uphold the Constitution. And I'm here telling you, you won't hear this anywhere else. They don't. They're not legitimate. They won't let me. They won't let me even practice law and defend your constitutional rights. So I'm defending them, your constitutional rights, out here on the sidewalk, called freedom of speech. Now I was doing that in the 2022 campaign. They put me in jail. They've learned their lesson. They didn't quiet me down. It sped me up. Gave me a mugshot standing for peace and right. I didn't commit a crime. If I did commit a crime, where's the video of me committing a crime? They say I did stuff I didn't do. They lie. The government lies on you. They lie. You have a right when they charge you with criminal offenses. The difference is to go before a jury of your peers. They knew they could arrest me, but they knew if I went through a jury of my peers, I would win the case. And they knew that would make them look very bad because they said I did stuff. They lied that they can't prove that I did, that I didn't do. Their witnesses are liars. What I did was run for government office without $1 billion. And I don't have $1 billion because I don't exploit the public. What I've done in my lifetime is protect the public. So don't trust your Tennessee or state courts. Charles Van Morgan live broadcasting to 1 million people in the past 2 months. More viewers than your local channels. Don't trust the courts. They won't tell you that. They are not honest. They are not honest. They are not honest or legitimate. Vote them out. They're not honest or legitimate. Your judges and your court system is not honest. They lie. Your court system is not to get the truth. Your court system is set up to adjudicate in the rich people elite's power and to stamp the weight of law on it. Say it's true, but it's false. It just has the weight of a legitimate government on it. It's not the truth. It's a dirty lie. You get dirty lies out of this courtroom over here. Dirty lies out of federal courts. Let's talk about the facts. Now, they want to go on emotion. We're the government. We're legitimate. We're telling the honest truth. And we got a ruling. A judge said it. You know, the one you got to stand up for when you go in their crooked courtroom. A judge said it, so it's true. We'll tell you some examples. We'll give you some examples, not just one or two. Some examples of the dirty Tennessee judges. Who says that? Tennessee judges are dirty as hell. They're crooks, they're thugs, they're dirty liars. Lisa Perlin, who regulates who gets in to fight for your rights, is a dirty liar. she's a liar. She lies and puts it on a ruling that this is what Charles Van Morgan did. I didn't do anything wrong. What I did wrong is stand up for the Constitution, what soldiers fight and die for. Lisa Perlin tramples all over the blood of soldiers that have stood up for the First Amendment. What a dirty thug she is. She ought to be in jail. She's a criminal. She lied in a court papers. She's a dirty liar. Hey, Lisa, 1 million people, you're a dirty liar. First Amendment. I'm out here on the sidewalk. You don't like that? You put out your lies in court rulings. I put out my truth to the whole public. So here's what they do. We'll draw the lines. If you complain on a Tennessee court judge, you say this judge did this wrong against the Constitution, against people's lives, and you write out a statement, sworn statement, sign it. This is what they did. And you send it to their Board of Judicial Conduct. Here's what their Board of Judicial Conduct will do. So you go in a courtroom, you think, well, if the judge does something wrong, if the judge says, shut up, you're going to jail, I don't want to hear your case, deputy, lock him up, and you write out a paper while you're in jail that says, I didn't even get a hearing, they threw me in jail, and you report that to the Board of Judicial Conduct. The Board of Judicial Conduct will look at your complaint, and they won't even investigate it. They won't even look into it. They won't get the video of the court because they've got access to the court hearings. They won't let you record it. Only they do. And they won't publish that lie where they threw you in jail. They'll say he didn't have a hearing. That's not true. They won't publish what really happened. And I'm telling you, this is what they did. What they do is, if you file a complaint, the court system's not legitimate. You can't even file a complaint. If you file a complaint, they use the complaint system that they got set up not to investigate complaints. Lisa Perlin, your complaint system is not set up so you can investigate a dirty judge that violates the Constitution. Their complaint system, and this is important, their complaint system is set up to get your name, who's filing the complaint, to investigate the complainer and to demise and justify what a dirty court judge did. Not anything to do. So if you complain about a judge that violated your rights, do it at your own demise. Because here's what they did to me, personally. I witnessed, and I'm not the only one, there are other people that witnessed it. I witnessed a Knox County judge here in Knox County, Judge McMillan. It's not defamation, it's true. Dirty Judge McMillan. The vile, sick man that he is, a judge. I had to stand up when he entered the courtroom so he could spit out vile stuff against me. Under threat of arrest. If you don't listen to this vile judge, we'll drag you into court. And if you try to fight us, we'll kill you. You got to go in and listen to this judge, vile stuff come out of his mouth. And you got to stand up for him and say that. That's the system they got set up for you. Is that what you want? You got it. That's what you got. Judge McMillan. You know, I challenge him, Judge McMillan. You put out your lies in your little court ruling. Sanctions that's supposed to be official by the government. I wrote out a complaint. What he did to the Board of Judicial Conduct. I mean, that's what you think. That's a legitimate system. They would listen to my complaint, right? Here's what they did. I wrote out a complaint. And here's what the judge did. He put somebody in jail and told the witness what to say in order that he could adjudicate. And a sheriff's deputy, Knox County Sheriff's deputy, the rogue sheriff's department that they are under the Christian sheriff, what a lie that is. Come to people's houses and kill them and say we did the right thing without videos. They do this stuff under the cover of night where there's no video. The only time they have videos is when it's obvious that they were in the right. When they weren't in the right, they show you the video. This time, look what happened. So we did wrong this time, but we want you to know that. See, we're telling the truth. So they have videos when they're in the right. When they're wrong, the video's gone. Isn't that amazing how that works out? Show the damn video to the public every time. Why are you lying? The Christian fine people that they are, yeah, it's not a Christian government. They can lie all they want. They use the complaint system to find out who's complaining so that they can punish you, not investigate your legitimate complaint about a judge that trampled on the Constitution. They had a judge in Knox County Court that put somebody in jail wrongly, took somebody's freedoms away. That's a big deal. I complained about it through their system, wrote out a complaint, sign my name to it. It's the truth. It's on video. They didn't investigate that. The judge is still sitting on the bench, probably throwing people in jail. Oh, you're in jail illegitimately. Throwing people in jail illegitimately and violating people's constitutional rights. You say, I'm not worried about that, I don't go to court. All they have to do is get a false warrant against you, drag you in front of a judge, say you did something, the judge will say, shut up, you did, you're going to jail. So you're not a free citizen in this country under the judicial system. You're subject to, if you write out a complaint against them, you'll go to jail. That's what they use the complaint system for. They're going to investigate the judge. They're going to look at your name and probably write out a warrant against you, put you in jail for complaining against their crooked establishment. That's in America. That's not Russia. That's America. You won't hear that anywhere else. That's the truth. So if you think this won't affect you, if you think their lies won't affect you, hang around. You better kiss their hind end and give them your hard-earned money, or they'll put you in jail. So they use the complaint system. Now, I complained about that. Now, this is just an example of how they did it. This is spelled out. This isn't fake, false stuff. This isn't defamation. It's the truth. So I complained against the Tennessee judge, Judge McMillan, that still sits on the bench here in Knox County, a vile, sick man that gets elected because they say the government says he's a good judge. No, he's not. He's a liar. He's a dirty liar. He's dangerous to you, dangerous to democracy, steps all over the Constitution, holds his head up high, and if you say something about it, they'll kill you. They might try to kill me. I don't know. You know, this is dangerous what I'm doing. Support the movement. Going against the judiciary. I'm telling you facts. It's not hyperbole or lies. You can look it up. I'll show you. I complained against the judiciary for putting somebody in jail falsely. There are other witnesses in the courtroom. People that were there witnessing for me were there. My attorney was there. What they did is they used that against me, that I complained against the judge through their system, used that against me and deny my law license. They said because I complained against the judge, they wouldn't give me my law license. So I didn't put it out to the public. I didn't do a bunch of stuff. I complained through their procedure, wrote it out, signed my name to it, said this is what this judge did. Instead of investigating it, they said the judge did nothing wrong because of lies. They said that my attorney said that the judge didn't do anything wrong. That's a lie. My attorney said because they got his law license on the line, an attorney won't complain against the judiciary, even justifiably they'll take your law license. So if your lawyer's in your courtroom with you and the judge does something wrong to you, that attorney is not going to go through a procedure, their set out procedure to write out a complaint against the judge and send it to the judiciary, send it to the Board of Law Examiners, send it to Dope Coat, because when he does, they want to investigate how the judge mistreated your client wrongfully in violation of the Constitution. They will investigate that lawyer that stood up against the judge wrong and protected his client. They'll stand up for the judge, and then they'll get rid of the lawyer. You won't have a law license anymore. So go figure. Their system of complaints, by example fact, is set up to get rid of the complainer, not to see if there's something that they need to do to uphold the Constitution. They used my complaint through their procedure. I turned it into them, not to investigate Judge McMillan for his wrongly throwing people in jail, not to investigate the Sheriff's Department for committing a crime, tampering with witnesses, to say, well, you're not going to get your law license if you're going to complain about us. A complaint, that's how their complaint system does. Is that what kind of judiciary you want in the state of Tennessee? That's what you got. That's what you got. So let's continue with this, talking about the dirty judiciary. If you don't believe me, listen to my videotape of why they turned me down. It's on my YouTube channel. So better than lawyers, in that I'm better than lawyers, in that they don't hold my livelihood over my head. I can tell you the truth. Lawyers can't stand up for your rights. This is sociology. It's not something I'm making up. Lawyers can't stand up for you. They got to stand up for the judge. If you're in a courtroom and the judge violates your constitutional rights, the lawyer can't do a damn thing about it. You can't stop him. If he does, they'll take away his law license. He can't go represent anybody anymore. He's not supposed to represent you. Tennessee judges in Tennessee, Tennessee lawyers in Tennessee aren't supposed to represent you. They're supposed to represent the judge in the courts. They're officers of the court. People say if you have a lawyer, a man that represents himself has a fool for a client. I say a man that has a Tennessee lawyer has a lawyer for the judicial system that'll convince you into pleading guilty. That's the truth. So I'm better than Tennessee lawyers because they don't hold my livelihood over my head. I can call a dirty judge out when I see a dirty judge. There's very few. There's some good judges here in Knox County. There are very few judges, and they're probably glad I'm doing this. There are very few judges in the state of Tennessee that will adjudicate fairly. Very few. And the ones that will are held down by a corrupt judicial system. They're glad I'm doing this. There's a lot of judges in Tennessee glad I'm doing this, standing up for what's right, standing up for the Constitution. Because they know how they do. They know how dirty it is, and they don't like it. They're not responsible for it. They try to stand up against it the best they can. There are some good judges in the state of Tennessee. There are some good judges at this Knox County Courthouse. Judge McMillan and the people on the appeals court are not good judges. They're not. They are not. And they're crooked as hell. And you can listen to like the civil rights attorney. You ever hear the civil rights attorney running down judges? Of course not, because you can't. They have a rule. They have a rule that an attorney can't criticize the character of a judge, can't disparage a judge. That's one of their rules. In order to practice law, now there is no rule against you disparaging your client. They don't have that rule. You can disparage your client all you want to. So the lawyer you're paying can criticize you to high heaven. There's no rule against that. He can do that. But if a judge does wrong, he can't disparage the judge. He has to say, the worst he can say is, we disagree with the judge's decision and we're going to appeal it because of a legal issue or something that you think respectfully that the judge didn't consider appropriately. But you can't say like I will say that the judge is biased. Judge McMillan is biased. Judge McMillan adjudicates everyone guilty for 2 days, according to my lawyer. Judge McMillan gets $6 a head for every guilty person he says is guilty of civil offenses. He gets 0 in his retirement for adjudicating people who aren't guilty. So Judge McMillan gets $6 a head off you, and that's all Judge McMillan cares about. I believe they won't tell you that judges get money for guilty pleas. If he had found that man innocent that he put in jail, he would have got fines and court costs. So they do it for financial reasons. You won't hear a lawyer saying that. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to tell you the truth. I will tell you the truth about these dirty judges in Tennessee. My lawyer did not say that Judge McMillan did not do anything wrong, which is what they said. They adjudicated that my complaint was false, and my lawyer said that the judge didn't do anything wrong. That's not what he said. My lawyer said that he did not make the complaint. That's quite different than saying that the judge didn't do anything wrong. Of course my attorney didn't say that the judge did something wrong, because they'd take his law license. What he said was he didn't make the complaint. So they used a legitimate complaint that I made against the judge for violating somebody's constitutional rights against me, so they won't give me my law license. Not because I'm not honest, because I stood up for somebody's constitutional rights against Lisa Lyon Perlin. So the Tennessee Judicial Board of Law License is a corrupt organization designed to keep honest lawyers out and keep the system filled with people that won't complain on judges. Because if you complain on judges like I did legitimately, they'll stop you from being a lawyer. So you have no rights in the Tennessee court system. They do, and you don't. So let's talk about some of the stuff that the Board of Law Examiners did. So, ruling out, they put their ruling out, Board of Law Examiners, use false arrests against me, adjudicate dismissed. Lyon Lisa Perlin. Barbara Zulicka, you can't make this stuff up. She has her law license. Margaret Bim, all right to lie in a court document, but they won't give me my law license. So they put a ruling out against me. Now get this, they put a ruling out against me that you don't get your law license. We're denying your law license because we're not honest, even though a judge on the Board of Law Examiners was committing an infamous crime of dishonesty. So who's dishonest? They are. They put that ruling out against me on Valentine's Day. Amazing, ain't it? Yeah, that's showing me they hate me, don't they? Isn't that amazing? Put a ruling out on Valentine's Day. Imagine that. The court, the judge in, that's how wicked these people are. I mean, give me a break. Put it out on Valentine's Day. Yeah, I don't like you all too much either. I don't hate you all. I think you ought to be in jail. I think Lisa Perlin ought to be in jail. They put a ruling out against me. That's what they do. They're sending you a message. They're stomping on you. They don't care. They want to show you who's the boss, who's in authority, rogue people. They put a ruling out against me. Judge Lefevre put a ruling out against me, taking my job away while I was out risking my life for the public. Put a ruling out against me in violation of the TCA code. The TCA code says they have 90 days from the date of the court hearing. They have 90 days to put out a decision. The judge, an administrative Judge Lefevre, the dirty liar that he is, that put out false stuff in the record, put out his ruling past the TCA code, past the Tennessee Code Annotated, violated the law. They can violate the law. Judges violate the law. They don't care. The law's not written for them to obey. The law's written for you to obey. And even if you obey the law, talk about judges in Tennessee, telling you the facts. Telling you the facts. Go in there and trust them if you want to. I don't. I'm telling you they lie. They will rob you. They will put you in jail. They're not to be trusted. They will kill you. Have you killed unlawfully? And adjudicated it was all right. That's the judiciary in Tennessee. They rob from people all over the United States. Canada, California, Texas, Florida. You ought to be mad at Tennessee judges. They're rogue as hell. They steal your tax money. Tennessee judiciary. They're living howling the hog while stealing your federal student loan money. So the judge is administrative Judge Randall Lefevre, in addition to falsifying evidence, adding evidence, in addition to covering up for people who are committing perjury, put out his court ruling. Put out his court ruling over 90 days in violation of the law. They don't care about the law. They don't have to obey the law. They adjudicate it. And put it out on St. Patrick's Day. Wow. So I got two adverse rulings against me. Both of them false, dirty lies. No way they're true. Obviously blatant lies. Showing me on Valentine's Day. We'll show you. We'll put out our lie on Valentine's Day. Put out a lie in violation of the TCA code late on St. Patrick's Day. Wow, what a bunch of dirtbag, dirty judges. They do whatever the hell they want to do. We need to rise up, get in power, and put them in jail where they belong. Crooks belong in jail. People that harm society belong in jail. When they harm society, they call it the truth. If you harm society, they put you in jail. Even if you don't harm society, they put you in jail. They put you in jail for standing up against the truth. Let's fight these people. So we've got over 1 million people that have listened to me. I might email them a copy. I think I will. Stand on the Constitution. It made them mad that I stand up against and filed a complaint against the judge. Filed a complaint through their procedure. This is their procedure. Their procedure is set up, well designed and organized to find out who's complaining and then punish the person complaining instead of straightening out the complaint, instead of making their judiciary comply with the Constitution, you know, the First Amendment. So I might email them a copy, and I think I will, of this video. Email them the link so they can hear me say, Lisa Perlin, you're a criminal. You lied on me. You ought to be in jail. First Amendment, it's the truth. It's not defamation. You ought to be in jail. You shouldn't be over the Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. You're causing citizens to go to jail unjustifiably, regulating the judicial system, even controlling the federal courts unjustifiably. The federal courts are supposed to be supreme. You can't practice in federal court unless you're licensed by Lisa Perlin. So how do you have a federal Supreme Court judiciary when you have Lisa Perlin telling who can go argue your case even in front of the Supreme, even in front of a federal court? So you can't. You don't have a legitimate federal court in the state of Tennessee either. You're better off, I think, in my opinion, defending yourself instead of getting a crooked Tennessee judge that's approved by a lying Lisa Perlin that harasses people. She's a paid harasser, works for the government, paid for the government, presents a facade for dirty judges, uses a legitimate complaint that I made against me. Even if they decided that my complaint was not well-founded, they should have wrote me a letter and explained to me how I was wrong and that I was false. Instead, they wrote me a letter thanking me for the complaint because they knew the complaint was well. And then when I get my law license, they use that same complaint that's justified against me, saying it doesn't matter about the complaint. We're not going to give you your law license because you simply complained. Really? So you have no right to challenge us. If you challenge us, even justifiably, we'll use that against you. Now that's what Lisa Perlin did. Read the order, and I'll put it online about why they denied me, because I complained through their procedure. Well, if your procedure don't work, Lisa, I'll email you this, Lisa Perlin. Lying Lisa Perlin, it's not defamation, you're a liar. I did not cuss you. You harassed me. I'll email you a copy of this video that's going all over the world. You're famous, Lisa. I'll show her a picture. I have showed her a picture. She's a liar and a defrauder and a violator of your constitutional rights. So yeah, we got a few people in here. Like, share, comment. So, it is getting very cold out here. And we are going to wrap it up for the day. And we'll continue probably Tuesday or next Wednesday and draw the line between the dirty judiciary in the state of Tennessee that hold themselves out to be legitimate, and we're going to show you facts, dates, and times about the crooked judiciary in the state of Tennessee, and show you specifically how they violate our constitutional rights, how crooked, how dirty they are in the state of Tennessee, and talk about some specific facts about the judiciary, not hyperbole, not conjecture, facts about what they did, and prove to you how they're lying, and prove to you why you shouldn't trust the federal judiciary or the state judiciary in the state of Tennessee. And we'll tell you what you can do about it. There's a lot we can do about it. I'm doing something about it right now. I'm putting it out to the public. How crooked these people are. And so we'll be back on here tomorrow morning, maybe. Actually, tomorrow morning, I've got to take someone I care very deeply about to the hospital. Has an appointment with the hospital. It's more important than YouTube. I gotta take somebody to the hospital tomorrow morning. I may be on here for a short amount of time, but we'll broadcast tomorrow morning. Maybe for a short time, or maybe we won't even broadcast at all, because believe it or not, there's people more important than broadcasting in my life. That's more important than broadcasting live on YouTube. So I got to take somebody to a doctor's appointment tomorrow that needs me to go with them for a doctor's appointment. And so we won't be back on here. Probably won't be back tomorrow morning. We may be back on here for a short time. And we'll be back on here probably Wednesday morning to talk about, to draw the lines, to talk about the judiciary in Tennessee. Further about some crimes that they've committed, and how your constitutional rights in the state of Tennessee, and in Tennessee, even in the federal system, are not protected. So like, share, comment if you want the truth about judges in Tennessee. You won't hear this anywhere else. You won't hear this from lawyers. They can't. I went to law school, passed the bar exam, have a doctor of jurisprudence, even have a master of arts in sociology, so I know what I'm talking about. And I'm not bridled, not held down by liars in the court system. So the only thing that keeps me is the defamation laws, which it's not defamation if it's true. So I'm just telling you the truth. So like, share, comment, and if you can, hit the icon and contribute. You can hit the super chat button and contribute. We'll continue putting out the truth. We are advertising. I haven't lied about anything. We'll continue advertising. If you want us to advertise for you, I'm advertising my company right now. I'm advertising on a busy bridge, my YouTube channel. If you want to contribute, hit the icon. And if you can't contribute, then hit the like button. If you can't contribute, share. And we're also advertising my taxi company, Safe Taxi, to a lot of people crossing the bridge. So you can see here, Safe Taxi Knoxville. So if you need a ride here in Knoxville, then well, you can go to other cities and call Safe Taxi. If you want me to advertise for your company, then let me know. It's not about that you agree with my positions. It may be that you agree with standing up to government rogue power. Then you just want to get the word out. I've got over 1 million people that have listened to me, that have listened to me worldwide in the past 2 days. We got more reach. We've got more reach for the movement. We got more reach than the local news stations. They broadcast to about 50,000 people on their broadcast. We had one broadcast that reached almost 60,000, and we reach about over 20,000 people every broadcast. And we'll put your name on a sign, and we'll carry it across one of the most busiest bridges in the state of Tennessee, where they have funneled, and I'm going to start wearing gloves because it is so cold. They have funneled all the traffic across one of three bridges. Across one of three bridges in Knoxville. This is one of three bridges. So the wind makes it horribly cold out here. So if you want me to advertise for you, I want a sign on one of the busiest bridges, and broadcasting to usually about over 20,000 people on every broadcast. Some we have had as many as 57,000 people on one broadcast. So if you want me to advertise, send me an email at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com to take care of some of the financial issues. We gotta have resources to support the channel to get out the truth. So that's one way we can do it, is through advertising your business. And if you want me to speak, we're doing some house cleaning, and important house cleaning. If you want me to speak at your church, I'll be glad to do that. If you want me to speak at your bar, then we can do that. Then I'll be glad to do that. I'll advertise that I'm speaking there, maybe get you some customers. So anywhere in Tennessee, even if it's not in Knoxville, if you want me to advertise for you, we'll put it out on YouTube Live where I'm going to be, and try to get a bunch of people there to patronize your business, have a good time. And I don't promote drinking. You know, I promote, maybe if you'll, and I don't tell people what to do, maybe if you'll sell milk, then that I come, allow people to drink milk too. People do what they want, but I don't personally drink. But if you want me to speak at your local bar, I'll be glad to get some truth out. It'll be very entertaining. I could get you some business, because I have, in the past 2 months, busted 1 million people listening to me, just recent viewers, and we're on a bridge that has a lot of viewers, because of the sign. So I'll advertise both ways. So contact me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com. We'll be glad to do that. I'll mention the bed store on Chapman Highway at Moody, veteran-owned store. So patronize that store. And the corner market on Bridge Avenue in the UT area. And also, big football game today. Visit the lady at the old Kaz Walker store where that used to be. on Chapman Highway across from Shoney's. So these people have helped me, so I'm trying to help them out. We'll be back on here. We'll be back on here probably tomorrow for a short time, and be back on here. Be back on here on Wednesday morning. So to talk about the dirty judiciary in the state of Tennessee. God bless you all. God loves you, and I do too.